So the next definition in the series is classified, and let's talk about what that is. I will try to provide backup logic and reasoning and additional information to help support the definition. And the definition might just be more of a dictionary definition than an industry definition, but the dictionary definition absolutely applies. So let's take a look at that right now. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, so classified. Products or material of a specific group category that are constructed, inspected, tested, and subsequently re-inspected in accordance with an established set of requirements. Okay, that's a lot. I have to think about that for a moment. So as I review this, or reread it, I suppose, products or material of a specific group category that are constructed, inspected, tested, and subsequently re-inspected in accordance with an established set of requirements. So it seems to me that's a very broad type of definition of the word classified as it pertains to our industry, but we can actually dive a little bit deeper into what that all looks like. And when I think of the word classified, I think of the word class. And customers, especially many years ago, they would walk in and say, I need a Class B door, or actually more typically they'd come in and say, I need a Class A door. Class. And that was always really interesting to hear the word class, because I didn't really know what it meant. But when you look at a fire label, and I have some images pulled up here, you see the word classified on a UL label. Okay, and when you see that, you start to think, well, that makes a little more sense that the word classified is used. You know, I'm looking at a Warnock-Hersey label here. I don't see the word classified anywhere. I don't see an Intertech. Here's a Warnock-Hersey. Yeah, see it on UL. There we go, UL, classified. I don't see any Intertech here. They have to be here. But I see Warnock-Hersey, I see UL. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Warnock-Hersey is Intertech. Yeah, okay. So thinking of class or classified, looking back at the definition taken directly from NFPA 80, I don't see anywhere in NFPA 80 where this is called out. Now, it could be a version, an edition of NFPA 80 that I'm not looking in, but in the 2013 edition, I don't see that anywhere. I don't know that it really so much matters, but it's important to understand that when something is classified, it belongs to a class of something. Therefore, it has been found to be in accordance with the requirements of the definition of that classification, like an ANSI standard would be, such as an ANSI standard for a hinge or a doorstop, or UL 437, such as a UL listed cylinder. It's classified UL 437 because, and that's not a very good SDI definition, but UL 437 is a standard for high security cylinders. And to be classified as UL 437, it has to have been found to be tested to withstand physical attacks like picking, sawing, prying, pulling, drilling, bumping, drill resistance, endurance, for other methods of forced attack. So the term classified for me really sinks in when I think about whether or not something is compliant with a requirement. If your customer is saying, I need a Class A door, I mean, that means a 3-hour door. That's very clear. You know it has to be classified. But when we use the cylinder as an example of a UL 437, the cylinder has to be classified UL 437, and the word classified is appropriate to use, I believe. You understand that there's been a test that has occurred that the material has been found to be compliant with, like a Class A door, like a Class B or a Class C. A 3-hour, 90-minute, 45-minute door has been tested and found to be compliant, that it can now be included in that group. Now, the Hager catalog is one that I've been flipping through for 3+ decades, and they use the word classified a lot. And they actually, if you scroll through their catalog, basic requirements for an opening to be classified as fire rated. So this is listing what's required in order for it to be under the umbrella of the classification of it being a fire door, and in particular, a specific fire door. So a Class A means it's been found to be compliant with an A label or a 3-hour rating, which is different than a classification for a B type, so on and so forth. So the Hager catalog uses the word specifically classified. So UL classification. The stop-only models are classified by UL as miscellaneous fire door accessories. Great, another use of the word classified. Products denoted by this symbol are classified and labeled by UL. So the word classified does seem to be associated with Underwriters Laboratory. And as we continue to click through, we'll find more instances of that word classified.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
This is NFPA 80, but again, I didn't find any definition. But now I think we understand better that if it's going to be compliant with NFPA 80 and belong to a compliant classification of product, it would have to be compliant with the document. So it's important to understand if the local code has adopted NFPA 80, which is a standard, it's not a code, the NFPA 80 document becomes code. So if the local code official or governing body says, yeah, we're going to go with the NFPA 80 guidelines, NFPA 80 now becomes the living document that products being used in order to be compliant will be classified compatible with what NFPA 80 outlines. There's also on iDig Hardware, which is a really famous blog in the door hardware industry. NFPA 80 is the standard for fire doors and other opening protectives and includes detailed information about the requirements that pertain to fire door assemblies. Rather than including each and every fire door requirement in the model codes, the codes incorporate the requirements of NFPA 80 by reference. So the local code will refer to a section of NFPA 80. When it comes to the word class or classified, they're using Class A, Class B, Class C. That's a designation that UL has used to say that this is a classified product under this umbrella, and we're going to say it's a Class A door. This is idighardware.com, by the way. Extremely valuable to folks in our industry. And I think, in conclusion, what this really means to me is if your product is called out to be, well, let's look at one more example. Okay. So in order for a product to be classified, here is a cut sheet from DCI, who's now out of business, unfortunately. And if your specifications say that your floor stop or your door stops need to conform to ANSI BHMA and federal specifications, there's an ANSI document calling out this information. It's right here, ANSI 156. It's the 156 document. The year of publication is 2016. So if your specs say that your stops have to be compliant with this ANSI document, the product is specified compatible with ANSI. It is therefore classified. It's under that class of approved products according to the objective third-party governing organization. So I think of, it's not just doors, but it's hardware, that there has been a bar set that someone is saying if it must be classified to whatever that classification is, it is therefore compliant with the requirements of who's specifying it to be compatible with that classification. Okay, the next definition is clearance. Wow, that's going to be a good one. Clearance has lots of, we'll break them up into different sections. Clearance will be next.
Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.